Hello, everyone. It's Friday morning, early, and I am coming to you in a sweatshirt today because there was a frost last night, and it's pretty cold. And I'm usually not cold, but as I get older, I'm not quite as hot and warm as I used to be. I start getting a little bit colder these days, so I'm sporting a sweatshirt, and I hope that's okay with you. Didn't feel like being cold. Anyway, it's good to be here. For those of you who I spoke with last week in person, that was great. It was nice to be there. It was nice to have Arlene there tickling those ivories and playing on the piano. And I hope we can do that soon. But it looks like you will not see me in the month of November unless you're watching me here on Channel 901. I'm not coming the first Sunday. There's a substitution already chosen for that. And Pastor Sarah's taken my last Sunday in November. So I will be seeing you the last Sunday in December, except on here. So today, the scripture is from Ruth, chapter 3, verses 1 to 5, and chapter 4, verses 13 to 17. So listen as I read. Let me try that again. That's chapter 4. I'm not there yet. Chapter 3. Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, I need to seek some security for you so that it may be well with you. Now here is our kinsman, Boaz, with whose young woman you have been working. See, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Now wash and anoint yourself, and put on your best clothes, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. And when he lies down, observe the place where he lies, and then go and uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do." She said to her, "All that you tell me to do, I will do." Sorry, I have to locate verse 13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And when they came together, the Lord made her conceive, and she bore a son. And then the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without next of kin, and may his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age. And your daughter-in-law who loves you, who is more to you than 7 sons, has borne him." Then Naomi took the child and laid him in her bosom and became his nurse. The women of the neighborhood gave him a name, saying, "A son has been born to Naomi." They named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse and the father of David. These are the words of God for the people of God. That reading, I'm not sure why they selected just those verses in the story of Ruth, because in order to understand what's happening here, you have to know the backstory. And so this message today is going to be a little bit different than my usual messages, in that I'm pretty much going to tell you the story of Ruth before we can figure it out. Ruth, she was one of the few women mentioned in the Bible, especially one of the only women who get a whole book in the Bible. And I'm familiar with the story of Ruth, but I didn't know all the details. So, like I said, I want to share some of these details with you because knowing them will help apply the story to our lives. The little part that was the lectionary reading doesn't give us the full picture. So let me tell you the story. There was a man named Elimelech, and his wife was Naomi, and they were from Bethlehem in Judah. And they had 2 sons, named Mahlon and Chilion. And there was a famine across that part of the country, and so the family left their homeland and moved to Moab. Now, Moab was opposite Judah on the Dead Sea, and it was considered one of Israel's enemies. It wasn't thought of to be a very great place. In fact, nobody could understand why they would choose to live among the God-forsaken people of Moab. Nobody really knows that. But when you're hungry, because there was a famine, you do unusual things. And in Moab, there was plenty of food. So I guess you do what you have to do. So the family pulled up stakes and they resettled. Now, the scripture does not give us many details, even in the part we didn't read. But Naomi's husband dies, and he leaves Naomi as a single mom with 2 boys. And if you remember, in the culture of the time, that was a pretty rough go, because women were not able to have jobs. They weren't treated as equals. And so raising 2 young boys by yourself was pretty rough. But somehow she managed to get these boys to adulthood. And because they were living in Moab, of course, they married 2 Moabites, as they're called, 2 Moabites women. One was named Orpah and the other Ruth. And just a little interesting sideline about Orpah. I once heard Oprah Winfrey say that she was named for Orpah in the Bible, but that on her birth certificate it was misspelled and she became Oprah. Just a little sideline tidbit there for you. Anyway, they lived in Moab for another 10 years, and neither of the sons had any children. And again, in that culture, being childless is considered a curse. And then, on top of it, both of Naomi's sons die. Again, we don't know why. We don't know the details. But now we do know that there are 3 widows, Naomi and her 2